So if you've been following along in my summer 2025 quilt along, you might be finished your project from the 1 block 4 raised pattern. So what should you work on next? That's what I'm talking about today. Welcome to Epida Studio. My name is Elizabeth and I help you make beautiful things with quilting, pojagi, and embroidery. So I hope if you followed through this series that you have learned of how versatile and how quick and easy pojagi reversible patchwork can be. And hopefully you've had a chance to try a project, whether you've done a project with 1 block or 4 or 20 or something different, you've created your own unique piece. And for sure, drop a comment. I would love to hear what you've made. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go back in this playlist and see step by step exactly how to make a project based on my 1 block 4 raised pattern. But as I'm sure you've learned by now, this technique is so versatile and you can make many different things with this. So I'm just going to share with you a few different ideas of ways to get you started and things that you maybe haven't thought of, and some of the other resources that I have on my website and here on my YouTube channel. So as you might have seen, what I am most known for is the window hangings. And I just think they're amazing, especially when it hangs in a window and it looks like stained glass. It's so different and it's so beautiful. And a lot of people, when they see it, they think it's tiny strips of black fabric. And they're usually surprised that it's not. And so window hangings I love to make with this technique. Now, if you really enjoy improv piecing and you're great at taking scraps of fabric and putting them together, then you can make some beautiful pieces. And I have had many people send me pictures of things that they have made with just putting scraps together. And they're also different and so beautiful. So if you enjoy that, I would encourage you just to try that. But some people are more hesitant with improv piecing and they want a little bit more structure, or they want a piece that looks like something. They want a predictable outcome. So if you're looking for more instruction or more help with that, then I do have lots of resources for you. I have both digital patterns that you can download, and I have on-demand video courses so that you can watch it over and over at your own pace. And so if you're looking for an improv style window hanging, one of my popular courses is called Pojagi Improv, and this basically gives you a guideline for people that struggle with improv, or maybe they have problems with that. And so it takes you step by step, and you don't have to make a whole bunch of decisions all at once. First, you just pick your fabric, you cut your fabric, you sew it together. It takes you through the process. And I share a lot of samples of things that previous students have made in the class, so you can get ideas of how you can customize your piece based on the size you want to make, based on the fabric that you have, and make it totally personal. So you can either copy the pattern as is or totally customize it, and I take you right through that process. So that is an on-demand workshop. It's called a Pojagi Improv Window Hanging. And then I have a bunch of other digital patterns, and some of these also have accompanying on-demand courses that you can get. And so here are some examples. Here is Glimmer, and Glimmer is a really great beginner project. This is made with 6 quarter yards of fabric, 3 in one color and 3 in another color. And so it only is 1.5 yards fabric total. And this is a quick and easy project. I have had beginners who've never done this technique before make this piece in a workshop and pretty much finish it in a 3-hour workshop. So it's not a guarantee that you can finish it, but it is a quick and easy project to do. This pattern is called Gradient Panels, and these are long, narrow pieces that were originally designed for sliding glass doors, but of course you can use them in a lot of different ways. You can make as many panels as you want. This series is very popular. It's called the Four Seasons, and this is made up of 4 different 24-inch window hangings. So you can use these in a medium-sized window and switch them out throughout the year. So I have a flower for springtime and a sunshine for summer, and then a maple leaf for fall, and then a snowflake for winter. And just a quick note, the snowflake one is my most challenging pattern, so I do not recommend that for a first project. But once you've done a couple of pieces, then you can be ready to tackle the snowflake. And I do have an on-demand course that goes along with that if you're struggling with that. And then my Christmas tree is super popular, and the Christmas tree has 2 different size options, and so you can make whichever one fits your window. And the small option is a really nice thing to give as gifts. So I encourage people to do that as well. But this technique works for things more than just window hangings, as you know if you've come through this quilt along. So here are some other ideas of things you can do. This pattern was just released earlier this year, and this is called the Easy Patchwork Shower Curtain, because that's the one thing I heard when I asked people, what can you make besides a window hanging? And they said shower curtain, shower curtain. And so if you've ever wanted to make your own patchwork shower curtain, this is a great technique. And this is an easy, beginner-friendly pattern that will help you make it. And then of course, beyond that, you can use this to make different table linens. You can make table runners, placemats, and I do have some free tutorials on my website that you can look up for some examples, or you can just design your own. And then another thing you can do, and this is something that I also have a free tutorial on my website, and this is a little flannel receiving blanket, and this is just made with little scraps of fabric that I have. So this one looks a little bit different than the square one that I made with the 1 block 4 waist pattern. It's more rectangular, but this is another fun, quick and easy project. And then another thing you can do is if you sew clothing, then this is a great technique to use for that. Because basically, when you're putting the fabric together, you're just making a larger piece of fabric. So if you have scraps and you make clothing, then this is ideal. So here is an adorable little baby dress that I made. And I just took scraps and I put them together to make a piece of fabric. And then I just cut out the dress and made the dress. And you can see the inside of the fabric, it's all smooth. It doesn't have those scratchy, raw edges that will irritate kids. It's smooth on the inside, and I just think this little dress is so adorable. And so you can think about how you can use your scraps in clothing. So for example, if you had 2 kids, you could make an outfit for the older kid, put the scraps together, and then make a coordinating outfit for a smaller kid. That's one example. Or if you made yourself a skirt, you can make a coordinating vest or top or scarf, something like that. The sky's the limit with your creativity. So I do have a blog post on my site that goes through how I made this dress with the scraps. So if you're curious what my process was, I do have that. And of course, I'll put all the links below in the description. And then besides clothing, you can go back to what this technique originally was used for. If you don't know the history of pojagi, I do have some videos about that explain the history. It is a very old traditional Korean technique that was used to make wrapping cloths. So wrapping cloth was a piece of fabric that was used to wrap items, either to carry them, to store them, to give as gifts. So it's just like Japanese furoshiki, but as far as I've discovered, that a big distinction is that sometimes pojagi were made with patchwork. Women saved all their scraps of fabric left over from other household items and clothing, and they sewed them together to make patchwork wrapping cloths. And as far as I have been able to find out, furoshiki were never patchwork. And so if you know of any other culture in the world that did this, I would love to hear about it. I'm curious and interested to learn. But as far as I have been able to discover, this was very unique to Korea. And so this is just a large wrapping cloth that I've made. And this is actually based on a log cabin. So you can look up my log cabin wrapping cloth. And then I've just wrapped it in a box. And we can see that it's a really nice way to carry something, or a really nice way to wrap a gift for someone. And so that is another application for this technique. So just be creative, use your imagination, and I'm sure you will think of your own ideas. But I just have a couple of pieces of advice if you're going to try this. So the first thing is kind of obvious, but this is not quilting. It is patchwork. It is quilt adjacent, but it's not quilting. It is different. Although a lot of quilters like it, it is different. And so the same rules that you have for 1/4 inch seams and for quilting, they don't apply. This seam is different. And so this technique does not work with precision piecing. So if you are a quilter who does amazing precision piecing and you win all the awards at the show, then that's wonderful. I respect and applaud you for that. But just realize that those skills that you have won't translate directly to this technique and these methods. These seams are different. So work with the characteristics of the seam rather than trying to fight against the characteristics of the seam, and you'll have a much more enjoyable project. If you spend your whole time trying to force them to do something that is not natural and not normal, then it's just going to be really frustrating. So I would encourage you, just think of this as a different technique. If you are a knitter and you start crocheting, it's going to be different. Even though they're both made with yarn, you can make a sweater or a blanket with both of them, but they are different techniques. So think of this as different than quilting. It's not the same, and there are some similarities, but it is basically different. So just appreciate that and work with this technique rather than trying to turn it into quilting. And so if you're interested in pursuing more, then I do have lots of tutorials and lots of projects that you can try. So you can find all that on YouTube and on my website, epidastudio.com. And if you try something, I would love to see it. So send me a message, send me a picture, and I'd be really excited to see what you make.